Good afternoon, everybody. Today is February 18th, and this is my trade journal update for today. I realize it's been a long time since I've posted anything. There's been a lot going on. I certainly haven't stopped trading. I've been very actively trading and studying and learning. And so I wanted to kind of come back and start sharing my daily trade journaling updates. We're still working on being consistently profitable. We're trading anywhere between... Well, today was 19 funded accounts with Apex. And so we're working towards getting our first payouts with Apex. And one of the things that I think helps is to go back through your trades for the day, see what you did, record why you did it, the feelings that you had, maybe the emotions that came up while you were in your trade. Take a look at the opportunities that you missed so that you can learn from those. And so I want to go through today. There were a total of 5 valid trades today based on the strategy. I am trading gold. And so we're on the 1-minute chart, GC. This is the April contract. So first of all, I'm going to go through the trades that I saw that were valid trades. This is the hindsight look at it. And then I'll pop my actual entries up on the chart, and you'll see that my actual entries don't match what were the valid entries in every case. And so really the goal and the objective is to be able to identify those good entries as they happen and to be able to have the confidence to take those entries. And so that's the purpose of this exercise. So hopefully you find some value in it. Of course, trading futures is risky. This is not financial advice, and you should always do your own research. So here we have gold. I have my opening range. So first rule is I don't trade until after the open range finishes forming. And the idea is generally we want to see some kind of direction. Sometimes it can consolidate for a long time. We want to see direction really before we get into anything. So as the day opens up, price just kind of pushes up here. I have my 3 lines. This is a 105 SMA, a 45 EMA, and a 9 EMA, my red, gold, and green lines. This is based off of basically Bob Anderson's trading style that I've kind of adapted to myself. So we're looking first for a push into a recent high. And so we have recent highs kind of popping up. Today was kind of an uptrending day, at least in the morning. I trade from basically the close of open here at about 8:35 until 11 o'clock Eastern time. I can take trades a little bit after that because oftentimes, and we'll see this at the end, we get an entry off of this red line at about 11 o'clock. So it's not like a hard line in the sand where we stop, but that is about the end of the day. So we have a high here at about 847 on the 847 candle. And then we pull right back to the top of the open range, and price just sits here at the open range. So that doesn't fit my strategy. Price broke below the green line, so there's no entry off the green line, and we never touched the gold line, so there's no entry off the gold line. So we just sit and wait. We push up here, we get a new high, and here we have a smooth pullback to the gold line. Picture perfect entry. It goes all the way. I'm scalping currently. I'm only looking for 10 ticks, but this did go to that pivot high, which would have been 30 ticks. Total from the top of this candle to the top of the pivot high. So definitely that trade worked. Price pushes up. We do create a new high right here. And it pulls back, but it doesn't quite pull back to the green line. Kind of a bull flag form there, but it pushes higher. And here we do get an entry. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit on this because this one is a little tighter. One of my rules is I require 3 candles worth of space between the line, the last touch of the line, and the return to the line. Now, none of these candles actually touch the line, and so I'm going to say there was no touch of the line since here where price was below the line, crossed above it. So we're good there. We pull back, we get a beautiful touch, and we get a push higher. Again, I'm looking for 10 ticks. This one went 15, so that's perfect. Good trade. We create a new high here. We pull back, but it's not a smooth pullback. Smooth meaning the top of each candle is lower than the candle before it. In this candle, the 939 candle, we do have a wick higher, so there's no entry there. We create a new high here and do pull back to the line, but here we're just riding this line. There's no pullback. There's no sort of push off the line and return to it, so there's no trade. And the same thing kind of continues. We kind of are creating new highs all morning long. We create a high here. We get a pullback. This one's a little bit tricky. I'll have to actually, I don't remember if I got suckered into this or not. This technically, because we don't actually have a push away from the line, okay, price is really just following the line and then rolls over. And so for that reason, this would not be a valid entry, even though we did create a high and we came back to the line. Technically there's space. Technically all those things are true. But if you look at this compared to this one right here. So if we look at this area here, just put a little green box around it, compared to this area here, because you could argue, you know, these are pretty similar. Here, let's see, let's start here. Okay. Up here, price, after we return to the line way down here, we're literally riding on the line, on the line, on the line. You can see prices, you know, if you're to put a channel right here, that is the line. These candles are kind of following it straight up. So even though price isn't on the line, it's following the line very closely. So that's not what I want to see. I want to see here where we're at the line, and then we push away from the line and we return to it. So I don't know if that makes sense, but that's why this is not a valid entry. This one is a little trickier if you're looking for a trade or you're waiting for a trade in real time and you see this happen. This could be something that entices you in. If it does, my stop loss would have been behind this candle and it would have been stopped out for a loss of, let's see, assuming we got in one tick above that candle, loss of about 18 ticks. So that is what it is. We push up here. Again, there's no entry here, even though we have a high and a pullback to the line, because we don't have three candles. Well, I guess technically we do have three candles. But again, price is going sideways. We're looking for a push up and a pullback, push up and a pullback. This is sideways. All right. Now here, oops, there we go. So here we have a push up and a pull back to the gold line. This is not a valid entry, however, because it breaks the pivot to the left. So here we had price come up to a high, a pivot low, and then a pivot higher. And so this white line represents the pivot we do not want to break. If price breaks below that pivot, it invalidates the entry. So there's no entry here. Ironically, this would have actually worked, I think. Yeah, it did go 18 ticks, but it went sideways for several minutes before it did that. So it would have actually worked, but that's not a valid trade. However, we do get a perfect red line touch right here. We have the high, we have a pullback to the red line. The pivots don't matter for the red line. The only thing you don't want to see, you don't want to see meandering price. You don't want to see stair stepping coming back to the red line. I don't really have an example of that, but this would have been a valid entry. And it goes, you know, plenty far. Next up, we have this one. So we have a high, we have a pull back to the line. This trade, we follow once we get a close. Well, I guess how far did it go? It went 10 ticks. Okay. So 10 ticks from the top of this candle to the top of this candle would not have given us enough room to take profit. But this would have been probably a break-even trade or maybe a small loss, simply for the fact that once we get a candle close above our entry price, so assuming we did get in here, and this is a valid trade, so we should have got in here. So assuming we got in here at this yellow line, right? This is our entry spot. As soon as we get a candle close above that entry, so either one of these two candles, we want to you guys can do whatever you want to do, but the way I would want to do it is start to trail my stop. So this would have resulted in a very, very small loss. But again, just like over here, it does pull back to the red line and provides a perfect red line entry. That works out just great. Could have easily got the 10 ticks. It went to the top of the pivot, which was 38. If we go back to this red line did not get back to the top of this pivot high, right? We came just shy of it by a couple of ticks. So that's something to note. But price usually comes up to the top of the bodies. And so even if I was looking for a stretch on this trade, it would have made sense, I think, to have your target at the top of these candle bodies right here. And you can see we hit that here just fine. We also hit it over here and go a little bit further. Again, this one came just shortly after the 11 o'clock kind of cutoff, but it still worked. So those were the valid entries for today. 5 of them total. One maybe a small loss. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, this was so 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 clear wins. 1 stop that would have been, basically break even. Those were the only trades that worked. Now, ironically enough, in the opening range, price was actually really nice. We got a nice gold line touch there and a nice green line touch there, but we don't trade during that opening range. So you kind of have to block that out. Don't even think about that. That doesn't count. All right, so let's take a look at what trades I actually took. Let's see. They're probably going to have... All right, okay, this is tricky. I got to turn on my trade. Hold on. I got to turn on my chart trader here because... There we go. Otherwise, it's going to show you one entry for every single account that was that was traded, and that would be too many. So let's go back over here. Data series, text and marker. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to go through and review how poorly I traded my plan today. All right. So first of all, I didn't take anything before. I didn't take anything over here, which was good. I followed my strategy. I got in here. Again, this is to kind of walk through what I was experiencing in this moment and why I made the decision that I made. Clearly it did not follow the plan, and that's really where the error is, right? I fall into the trap where I think I see something happening and I think, well, it could do this or it could do that. And really it doesn't matter what it could do. The plan is really king here. And so what had happened was I got into this trade. Okay. So we get ticked in and immediately it kind of pulls back a little bit. So, I'm nervous. The next candle forms here and it's just not going anywhere. So when I see this, I think bear flag, and that's what I was seeing. Again, that's not rational thinking because I'm not trading bear flags, and you don't know what's going to set up until it actually does set up. And there were actually other indications that this was not coming back down, that this was turning around. But it's easy when you're in trades to kind of, you get blinders on and you either see the things that give you confidence that it's going to go in your direction, or you see things that give you confidence it's not going to go in your direction. And it's really hard to be objective unless you have a lot of experience and are in the right mindset at the time. And so for that reason, once this closed, I was just looking to get out of it. So I actually had moved my target down to maybe +1. 1 tick above in profit. So you can see I got in at 35.6. I got out at 35.7. And of course, right as soon as I get out, it shoots up. My target would have been 10 ticks from the 35.6. So the target would have been 36.6, which you can see is right here. So within the candle that I actually got out of, it would have hit my 10 tick target. So that's a lesson. You have to either be ready to take that loss or don't get in the trade, because the likelihood that you're going to not win or you're going to win less is high if you start over managing. All right. So that was the first one. The next one that popped up here, this one actually happened too fast. So I was looking at something else, and when this formed, I didn't have my order ready to go, and so I just missed this one. Okay. Let's see, where was the next? My next entry was here. Oh, I did get suckered into this one. Okay. So I got suckered into this guy and stopped out. So, you know, that is what it is. Mostly after missing this one, after missing this, not getting the profit, missing this, not getting the profit. Now I'm in FOMO mode, right? So now I'm like looking for a trade, and I got suckered into this guy without recognizing that, you know what? This just isn't the right price action. That's not what I'm looking for. So we took a loss there, what, 44.8 to 38.0. Oh wait, it's the other way around, 43.0 to 44.8. So 18 ticks loss on that one. And then I started to get dumb. Okay. I saw this and I said, okay, well, I think we've got a double top here. I think it's probably going to reverse. It's low risk. I'll just put my stop at the high and take a short, which is what I did, and got stopped out. So dumb trade, was off plan completely. This one here, even though it broke the rule, even though it broke below, I did take it. So I got in at 43.3. And I sat through all of this nonsense and ended up getting stopped out. Or I took my profit. I did the kind of the same thing that I did earlier, where I moved my target lower and ended up getting one tick, you know, basically a break-even trade. Which again, 3 minutes later, it worked out just fine. So, you know, that was my trading today. It was not a good trading day, right? You've really got to be able to execute your plan. It doesn't matter what your plan is. It doesn't matter what your strategy is. Almost any strategy works if you are disciplined and you follow it and you practice it. And I think that's the last trade I took. Oh no, I did take this one. See, now I think I might have. Yeah, I did the same thing here, right? So this started making me squeamish. The other issue here, right? So you can see my entry here at 44.8, got out at 45. So basically a break-even trade. I mean, you could say that's okay because it was turning around and we know how it ended. The reality is this was managed very poorly because I should have followed my plan and trailed the stop. That would have been the right answer. And then let's see, what else did I do here? Oh, I thought I was going to get a second entry. All right. So this is my FOMO again. This is like horrible. This is just awful trading right here. I don't know why I chose this as day one of my little trading journal restart here, because this is just horrible. So I saw this and I said, well, oftentimes you see kind of a double test of these lines before they push off. And, you know, I'm like, well, I think it's probably going to come back up here. We're in a strong uptrend overall, right? It's probably going to come back up. So I just jumped into this. And of course, as soon as I did, it rocketed down and stopped me out. So whatever that is, let's see, measure it since I can't see my number. 13. So just horrible. And of course, what this leads to is the fact that now I've just lost a trade. So now my mind isn't in it. I'm unfocused and I'm not in a position to take advantage of the good entry, which would have worked just fine. So lots of lessons today. Lesson number one is to trust the plan and to trade the plan and to put blinders on to anything else. Honestly, one thing I might start doing is just walking away from the screen. Just get in these things and just let them go. If they stop out, they stop out. If they go, they go. But I cost myself money here. I cost myself money here. Because honestly, this one would have hit the target if I'd have stayed in it, right? So I cost myself money here and I cost myself money here. And so, yeah, so that's the lesson for today. So that's my trading journal for today, the 18th of February. Tuesday after a holiday. There was no real news today. I think tomorrow we do have some news. So it'll be maybe a little bit of a more interesting day. I mean, really today was pretty easy. And that's one of the frustrating things, is to go back and see that if you followed your plan, the market gives you opportunities all the time. Every day there's an opportunity, multiple opportunities, usually depending on your strategy. You just have to be willing to wait for those opportunities. So that's it for me for today. We'll talk to you tomorrow.